Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Golf Chat Show Live. So on the show recently, we've had European Tour professionals, we've had people who work for Sky Sports, BBC broadcasters. Today, we've got two golf club members, but not just any two golf club members. We've got Adam Stott of +4 and Dave Peel of +2. Welcome to the show, guys.
Cheers. Thank you, Alex.
How you doing? How are you keeping?
Okay, everything's good. We're all right. We're getting through it, so that's all we can do.
Peely, what about you?
Yeah, good. Wouldn't mind a game of golf, but other than that, family keeping us busy and work and stuff. So,
Have
yeah,
you
all good, thanks.
any chipping in the garden? Any nets?
Not for me, unfortunately. Too busy with the family. I'm sure Stotty's sorted himself out with a little net.
No practice, no serious practice for me, Dave. You know that.
Okay, boys. So, Stotty, you're a +4. Peely, you're a +2. Both had very, very good amateur careers. And Stotty, just wanted to kind of touch on what we said just before we came live. You played Europro when you transitioned from amateur to pro. Just shed a little bit of light on that and what it is going from amateur to pro and then coming back playing amateur again.
It was just a natural progression for me. Obviously, played junior county golf and things like that, and then move into adult county golf, and then I played national golf as well. And then it was just a natural progression to turning professional. I started to struggle, to be honest, when I actually turned professional. It was a financial struggle at times, and I had to find a job to obviously go and work to be able to play in tournaments, and then obviously the expense of traveling and everything. And I did 5 or 6 years, but just sort of honestly for the last few years sort of half-heartedly really, and then ended up turning back amateur, and then got to a point as a professional where I wasn't enjoying the game, and then as an amateur now I'm really enjoying it again. So yeah, that's it really.
Because I remember playing with you, I must have probably been, I reckon, about maybe 15, 16 at the time. You were our pro in a pro-am round at Stockport. And I just thought, who is this boy? This guy can play. Like, you bombed it, hit it good, chipped well, putted well. Must have been a good year for chipping, Stotty, because we all know.
It was a good year, yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, you played at the very, very peak of the amateur game, didn't you? And
yeah,
played with some good amateurs as well.
Yeah, very good amateurs, yeah. Played with Danny Willick, Dave Horsey, Paul Waring, Matthew Richardson, Jonas Blixt, Cabrera Bayo, loads of them, yeah. So, yeah, pretty much like you say, at the top of the amateur game. And then when you turn pro and lose, spend years in the wilderness, it's a tough one to take, I suppose.
I think people always think if you turn pro, it's great, you go and play for loads of money, but they don't realise the travel, the commitment. Actually, at the bottom of the game, you're just playing to break even, and that's actually doing well.
You are doing well to break even. You really are. I mean, my best finish on Europro was second, and I actually won on the 1836 tour. I think it was the week before that. And you make a reasonable amount of money, and you think, oh yeah, I'm doing really well. But then you sort of finish outside the top 10 on Europro, and you're actually losing money. So there's 144 guys teeing it up who can all win.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to dominate. It really is.
It's highly competitive. Okay, Billy, it comes to you now. And I know Stotty's going to give you a bit of crap for this. 192 appearances for Cheshire. Oh. Why not 200? Why not?
Well, I was chasing the record of Roy Smethurst, who had, I think it was 186. I had 22 years playing county golf, young family, and it was just, the time was right, really. I just thought if I carried on to try and get to the 200, I'd have to play maybe another year, or if I was dropped or something might happen, then I'd have to play another year. I was just dragging it out, trying to get to 200. The 192 was a nice way to finish, or finish on a high. I won both my games, last two games. Cheshire wanted me to carry on, but we were due our second child in the September that year, so it just felt right. And to be honest, I've missed the lads and playing with the team and what have you, but I'm happy with the decision I've made, playing my amateur golf and courses and competitions that I want to play in now, not dictated by by county golf. So no regrets at all.
Because you, like Adam, would have played in some county golf teams with the likes of Horsey, if I'm right in saying.
Yeah. Well, I made my debut in '96. Gareth Bradley, who you'll remember, was the captain.
That's actually my godfather, him.
Oh, Gareth was captain. He picked me. Made my debut with Jamie Donaldson. We made our debuts together. Played foursomes together for a couple of years. Still stay in touch with Jamie. And then I saw the likes of Dave Horsey come through, Paul Waring, who Adam mentioned, Adam himself, who was quality. And then you've got the likes of Mark Pilling, who won the British Boys, and most recently Matt Fitzpatrick, who has made his way onto the main tour. Matt Jordan, who's made his way onto the main tour, who is again that kind of level to them boys. So played with a load of them, and that was one of the reasons why I probably didn't turn pro, because I realised I wasn't at that level. I didn't dedicate myself enough, to be honest, to get to that level. Probably didn't hit it far enough as well. I think these guys bomb it now as well.
Yeah. So, you chipped and potted better than anyone, though, Peter.
I was waiting for you to say that.
I'd take 50 yards less for your chipping.
Yeah, I've worked a lot on my short game, and I think that's a lesson for most amateur golfers. If you want to get your handicap down, short game is the key. Pitching and putting is massive. Everybody hits it pretty good. If you can make a score from 100 yards in, you're gonna shoot a score. So if anyone needs any advice, that's what I would tell people: work on your short game for sure.
Stotty, did you hear that?
Yeah.
We're painting you out to have a horrendous short game. He's not got a horrendous short game.
If I knew how to chip, Alex, I'd still be playing.
Okay, so I'm going to get to question number one. So I sent you a few questions before we came live. This is what I got from the audience. So what are golf clubs doing right now? So you guys are members at golf clubs, you're members at Stockport Golf Club. What are they doing right now? Because if we put it in a perspective, at this moment in time, people are finding it hard. Most people are being furloughed. People are struggling. So the golf clubs have got to be active, haven't they, in helping people? And I know, what are Stockport doing?
Well, do you want me to answer that, Adam?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Well, I can only talk on behalf of Stockport. What I see that Stockport are doing are making sure they're staying in contact with the members. Communication, I think, is key. Obviously, this is a challenging time. Got to make sure people are staying safe, following the regulations, government regulations. But the key is to communicate, stay in touch. For me, that and then when we get to the end of this, then we make a decision where our golf looks or how it works. Again, I don't know what other golf clubs are doing. I've been at Stockport for 25 years, and Adam was there as an assistant and been there a few years now. But I think they're doing the right things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But there's it's challenging times. It's tough, isn't it? Golf is struggling.
It's like I was saying something the other day. You look at the rest of the world. Denmark are back playing. New York, if you live in New York, golf clubs are shut down, but you can travel to another state in America and go and play golf, which is crazy. And the thing is, my friend who's in New York and traveled to a different state, we won't name him because it's probably not the safest thing you can do, but he went to the golf club, didn't see anybody, didn't touch a flag, they turned the holes upside down. Surely that is safer than even going to Tesco. That's what I'm thinking. So I think
I saw a picture on that. Yeah. No.
That seems crazy to me, because it would help golf clubs stay alive in a troubled time anyway, because people aren't picking up golf. And for me at the minute, all people are looking at is, okay, I can go cycling, I can go running. These things don't cost me as much as paying a membership each year, apart from the outlay of your bike. And I think if people actually looked at golf seriously and went, actually, if you played a maximum of 2 balls and potentially only a 2 ball from somebody in your own household, what's the difference?
There is no difference, is there? At the end of the day, as long as you keep social distancing, but you're outside in the middle of a golf course. I suppose you can't come into contact with anyone else, really, can you? So it's you are probably safer than anywhere else, I would think. So I don't understand why they have clamped down on that so much, to be honest, or whether it is the aspect that so many people would travel to golf courses to play golf.
Yeah,
they maybe would become crowded, and it is unnecessary travel, arguably, isn't it? So, you know, because you've got to get your equipment there. But as far as actually, you know, if you lived on a golf course or by a golf course and you could walk, I don't see the issue. I really don't.
Because most people are members of golf clubs. They play at a golf club which is pretty local to them. Apart from if they're members at like Royals or things like that. Most people who are even members of them, they have a local golf club to them. Surely it's feasible and to go, right, okay, for an hour, you can go and play 4 holes. We're only going to open 4 holes, whatever it might be. And that, I think that would actually save a lot of golf clubs, in my opinion.
Yeah,
definitely. I agree. I think from what I understand, there's the R&A, England Golf, and I'm sure the PGA are pushing to the government to try and sort of open that up and allow that to happen. But I think we've just got to wait and see if that does happen. It is a waiting game, isn't it? We don't know how long this is going to last for. Ideally, we should be back, hopefully by June at the latest, but we just don't know, do we? So that's the key to it.
I think golf does look different when you come back. Does golf look massively different? Does it look like 2 balls more the time? Does it look like the cup's upside down? What does it look like?
Are you answering that, Dave, or me?
No, you fire over that, Scotty.
I personally don't know how it's going to look, to be honest. It's like Dave said, I think it's when they start to relax social distancing, obviously things will go back to normal, but it is just a complete waiting game. I think when they first go back, they have got to go with cups upside down, etc. Maybe no flags, 2 balls. But, you know, having said that, if you're playing in a 2 ball, if you're playing a 3 or a 4, you can still, the golf course is huge, isn't it? So you can still keep your distance. So, yeah, I mean, I don't, it just depends on when they relax all the social distancing.
Yeah, and actually, a comment just coming here, most golf courses actually have a public footpath through them anyway. Like, I actually walked through Bramwell Park Golf Club, which is right near me. I have to go through there to take the dog, and I actually saw a guy practicing on the practice ground. I mean, he wasn't doing any harm, like, he was just hitting balls, but what's the difference between me walking my dog and walking through that? And like you say, Peely, I know the PGA are in talks, England Golf, R&A. Everybody wants golf to come back, because I think a lot of people are worried about the situation golf is in.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys, I was just unmuting myself. Yeah, I think that again, a lot of people seem to, well, from what I understand, people are hitting balls or trying to sort of bend the rules, but it's the government who are saying golf is not allowed, golf courses are closed. So it's the same with greenkeeping as well, I suppose, because there's only certain things that the greenkeepers are allowed to do now, and it's a fine line between what you can and can't do. And again, I think we've just got to wait. I know it's tough for everybody. I want to play. I'm sure when we do start playing, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. But it is a situation that we're in. It's unprecedented, and we've just got to see it through, haven't we? Really. But it is hurting the golf industry, that's for sure.
What can the greenkeepers do then? What can they do? So I don't know.
Adam, you best answering that as an ex-greenkeeper.
Hey, listen, I'm not a greenkeeper anymore. Personally, I believe they're allowed to sort of maintain the course in general. They're allowed to just sort of cut and prepare the course and just maintain it. Not sure they're allowed to do any huge projects or anything like that. I think a lot of clubs have actually furloughed staff now and just got, what's the guidelines, Dave? I can't remember. Was it was to have sort of 3-4 staff in or something like that in the end, wasn't it? And end up sort of just maintaining the golf course. The Golf England did give a specific guideline, I think, but I haven't actually read it, to be honest with you. But as far as I'm aware, it's just a case of you know, sort of general maintenance to the course, really, to keep the upkeep of the course, you know, tidy for when people obviously return.
Yeah, that's what I understand. It's just cutting fairways, greens, tees. I don't even think they're allowed to rake the bunkers. So it's just a case of getting it ready for when we come back. The sooner the better for me, as I've said. And hopefully golf clubs will survive off the back of this.
Yeah.
It's tough.
tell you what, there's one thing, if there's a positive, and Matthew Bennett's just said this, one positive note, imagine the state of the golf course, no divots, no pitch marks, greens will be gone. It's something to look forward to, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, me and Adam have spoke about it, about Stockport. I think we've got a new green, and you remember, Alex, when you were there, we've got a new greenkeeper in the last year or so. We're trying to raise the bar and get the course back to where it used to be, and raise the profile. And I think he was getting there. I think this little sort of break, if you want to put it like that, may well benefit some of the courses where they become in great condition, and golfers flock to play them. It's unprecedented. Like I say, it's unprecedented. It's difficult to know, but courses should be immaculate. And I'm hopeful, and I'm expecting Stockport to be one of them for sure.
I think it will be. I honestly think. I think team are working really hard from what I've been told and everything, and course is looking great on some pictures that I've seen. People who've had a little bit of a walk and stuff, and it looks so tidy the other day. So yeah, I'm confident it'll be immaculate when we return. And like Dave, I can't wait to get back playing.
Wonder what we're going to be like when we get back playing, by the way.
My chipping might improve.
You know what? It's funny. Sometimes, I don't play as much as you guys, but if I don't play for a little while, I probably actually hit more balls than you two at the minute with my net in my garden. But
yeah,
sometimes actually it does people a good favour. Obviously under these circumstances not, but a lot of people get so obsessed about their golf game, it becomes the be-all end-all of their week. And sometimes just put it in perspective will help people.
I've noticed that. We obviously, same with Adam. We got two young girls, and I've probably played my best golf since the kids were born, because it gives me, when I play, I'm more focused, and when I practice, I'm more focused on what I'm doing. And I just seem to have, it just seems to have been a case that my golf has improved since I've practiced less, but I'm practicing with more focus on what I'm actually doing instead of just beating balls and not thinking what I'm doing. I think hitting balls is massively important to be a top player, but I think you've got to be doing the right things for sure. Okay,
so you guys, you look at a golf club, you're in the top % or 0.5% of golf club members, plus figures. Most people who watch my show are mid-handicap, single-figure golfers. What would be the one piece of advice you'd give them, each of you, so we'll start with you, Adam, to a player that is in their mid-teens to high single figures? What would one piece of advice would you give them?
Two pieces of advice, really, both to do with practice, probably. Like Dave said before, short game's massively important. I used to sort of structure it for sort of every... In them days, my short game was very, very good. I used to do sort of an hour's long game, and then it'd be sort of 3 to 4 hours short game, whether it's putting, chipping. And the other thing, I'm massively keen on myself. I've never, ever been sort of a ball beater. I've never stood there and just hit loads of balls. I've always structured practice and made it competitive. So, like when I used to practice at Reddish, there was a bunker, and I'd stand with 100 balls from various yardages and see how many I could actually pitch and land in the bunker. And then the day after, when I went back, I had to beat that score. So it was putting pressure on your practice. And for me, that's the best way they will improve. And obviously play a lot as well.
Yeah. I think that's play a lot. I think a lot of people forget that and more bothered about what the swing looked like.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't get. I'm not going to name him, but one of my friends. Funny story. He used to go in it. Honestly, 505 irons, and true story this. And I'd say I'm going to name him. His name's Jamie Story. He's the pro at Marple. He'd go in at 505 irons. And I remember one day I'd been in the shop at Stockport, and we went down the first, and he'd come in the shop and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "What have you been doing?" He said, "I've just hit 505 irons this morning." So I was like, "All right, why?" He said, "Oh, I just, I'm hitting me 5 iron." I'm like, "Okay." So we went down the first. He rips this drive down the first at Stockport. It's such a tough starting hole. It's a real tough hole, but great golf hole. Leaves himself a 5 iron into the green and sort of pull-ups it into the trees left. And I was like, that's all you need to know about hitting 505 irons. It doesn't help you at all.
Okay, Feely, what's your one piece of advice?
similar to what Adam said and what I said before, just about short game, massive. Just work on that short game from 100 yards and also structure your practice. That's probably something that I didn't do when I was trying to get to that next level, and it's something that clearly Adam did, something that I'm sure Jamie Donaldson, Dave Horsey and the likes did, because they went on a steep gradient, and I sort of plateaued and never sort of got lower than +2. So I think take on what Adam said. If you can structure your practice, work on your short game, I think you obviously have your lessons and off your PGA pros and stuff like that, but you've got to structure it, and you've got to work on that short game.
Definitely, I think that having lessons of your PGA pros an important thing, and whoever that is, but you've got to do it. I think a lot of people do it as a reactive thing, not just a thing to keep you in maintenance.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, guys. So the Ryder Cup end of this year, we fingers crossed it goes ahead. I mean, if it does go ahead, we've got some golf on TV. We've got US Open, US PGA, Ryder Cup, the Masters, all in the space of like 6.5 weeks. So how do you pick the team? Because I'm gonna call out 4 people here that if we went on the current standings wouldn't be in the team unless they got picked. Justin Rose, Stenson, Poulter, Molinari. So how are you picking your team? You can't go on normal standing, surely.
It's a difficult one, but for me you can, because obviously you've not had the set amount of time where obviously people get the points to qualify. I think, is it you were saying before, Marcus Kennel would get in?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's an unbelievable player, but like I say, not taking anything away from him, but players of his standards can sort of have a 3 to 6 month purple patch, and then sort of, you don't know where the game's going to be after that. Whereas, people like Henrik Stenson, Justin Rose, and people like that, for me, you've maybe got to pick them.
Yeah, I totally agree. So you saying you almost would say that we're going to have captain's picks throughout?
Yeah, I think that's the only way to go this year, because you haven't had the set amount of time for people, for the steady, the players who perform week in, week out to accrue enough points. So I think you'd have to go with just captain's picks, yeah. Because
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of players out there going, "Oh no, we played a lot, we played enough."
No, quite rightly so as well. You'd be gutted if you were in one of them spots. I think you said, was it Shane Lowry was missing out as well?
Yeah, Shane Lowry.
Yeah. I saw there's something in the press today, wasn't there, that the US Tour, I think, is planning on starting again in mid-June, I believe, but the European Tour haven't got a start date, and they're saying that it's going to have a profound effect on the tour going forward. So you could have the US Tour starting, the European Tour not even restarting. So for me, it's 12 picks or the top 12 in the world kind of thing. That's that's the only way they can do it in my eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Because otherwise, like you said, no disrespect to some of the players, but I've not actually had quite a close look at the US team, but I can assure you they'll find a way of putting out their best players. Whereas if we go on, say, standings and not doing a full list and not going to full tournaments, then you're going to have a lot of rookies in there.
Yeah.
And we know going abroad, going back over to US, and hopefully there is fans there, but if there isn't or is fans there, they're going to be heckled something wrong.
Yeah, I think that if you look at the team that went over on the Darren Clark, there were probably 4 or 5 rookies there, and they ended up struggling, and the team lost. I can't remember the score, but it was narrow. But I think it makes a huge difference. When I was involved with Cheshire and when I was captain for 4 years, I was always picking experience because it makes a massive difference. You've got to bring in the youngsters if they're good enough, but also you've got to have the blend of experience with that. And I think that has impacted on Europe in the past, but I think they'll get it right. I still think they'll win.
I agree. And Harrington being the captain. Okay, boys, if you were captain, who would be, just give me 3 picks, 3 people that you'd want in your team.
Oh.
I'll put you on the spot because I didn't actually tell you that question before.
Go on,
I'll go. Go on, Al. Well, you'd have to go Rory. Justin Rose. I know he's struggling a little bit, and John Rahm, I'd probably go with them.
I agree. Those three have got to be in your team. Stotty?
I'd go with John Rahm, McIlroy, obviously, and then probably Molinari as well. I think you'd have to put him in.
Especially, and then you hope Fleetwood gets in that team as well, which you think he would do, because those two were a some pair when they were in France.
Yeah.
I forgot about Tommy. Yeah, you just have to put
again. Fleetwood's playing unbelievable. He'll be in anyway, won't he? I would have thought.
Yeah, he's number one actually on the list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so.
You mentioned before about the European Tour and not really having a starting date, and I actually read something yesterday that the players might have to play for less money, and these boys are being used to, especially in the Rolex events, of playing for like $1 million first prize, euros. Sorry. So what does that look like for these golfers now? It could be potentially going almost like the European Tour becomes, not saying it's going to go down to Challenge Tour money, but there's going to be a knock-on effect.
The top European Tour players, they're not playing. I'd say the top 80 in the world or whatever, they're not playing for money nowadays anyway. They're already, once they win, once they're set for life anyway, unless they're obviously stupid with it. But, for the top earners, it's not going to make a massive amount of difference. I think maybe for some of the bottom end, sort of your journeyman pros, I think it's going to make a massive difference, obviously, because I can't imagine what the travelling expenditure is. I mean, a lot of them will have sponsors, but it's not not necessarily. I've got friends who've made sort of over £500,000 one year, and then 2 years later you see them playing on sort of local tours around the Stockport area for £1,000 first prize. So yeah, it's a difficult one, but the top boys are not bothered about money anymore.
No, sure. But the thing that I found scary, and you think USPGA, the US Tour, is sponsored by FedEx. Now, they're probably going to be doing all right at the minute and got a good sponsor. Whereas you look at the European Tour, I know it's sponsored by Rolex. I know it has to have some main sponsors, but that tour really relies on sponsorship from event to event. And if that event doesn't happen, how does that tour even stay viable? I know there's some big discussions potentially going on behind the scenes about the European Tour having to merge with other tours to save it because of this situation.
Yeah, I think it's the same for a lot of industries. A lot of businesses are really going to struggle off the back of this, and golf is going to be one of the golf companies, not just the tours. I think the big golf companies are going to struggle. Nobody's playing golf, so they're not going to sell any hardware, are they? So it's having a huge impact, and the sooner we get out of it, the better, and then we can see where we are really.
Okay, just on that point, we've got another question which came from my mailing list. Equipment. You boys like to keep up to date with nice equipment, good equipment, and you guys are. What I'd say is you go to a golf club, the good players in the club, everybody looks up for your opinion on certain things. So golf clubs, as in manufacturers, how do they make this viable? Because say you're a golf club manufacturer, you've just produced your brand new load of clubs. They've just probably hit the shelves just as lockdowns happened. Now nobody's playing. Now nobody's potentially got money. And you bring out, say, a new brand of clubs next year. What does that look like from a consumer's point of view? You're going to be like, well, hang on, like no one's used this yet. And what does it look like?
To be honest, I've never been one for swapping my clubs all the time. Anyway, I've only ever swapped, drivers every few years and stuff. But arguably, from people who like to swap equipment, if you bought a new driver, say 6 months ago, and you haven't used it for 6 months, you're not going to go out and buy a new driver yet, are you? But the other thing is for equipment companies to obviously keep turnover, keep cash flow coming in. They've got to bring out new equipment, and hopefully, like Dave said, it's uncharted territory for golf at the moment. Nobody really knows when it's all going to end. But as far as equipment goes, I think personally they have to bring it out because it'll already be designed and obviously manufactured, and I'd imagine they work sort of a few years in advance, I would think, and hopefully people will buy it. Yeah.
So, guys, what are you actually using? I know a lot of people will be interested to know what clubs you're using. So let's just go. Start. You go first. Irons, driver, wedges, and putter. What are you gaming at the minute?
I've just bought brand new set of Mizuno irons. Actually, I've only used them once.
It's gonna be one of
Looking forward to them. And I've got an epic flash driver, and I've got a tailor-made 2-iron, which I got last year. And putter-wise, I'm just using a Spider. I mean, putter's something I've not swapped a lot really. I've got a Spider in the bag which I've had for probably about 8 years now, something like that. So yeah, that's my equipment.
Peely?
Yeah, I'm a Callaway man now. Made the switch a few years ago. So Callaway, I've got a Maverick driver, Epic Flash, fairway wood, and then like a combo set of Apex irons, and I've got the trusty blade, which I've had for Pingsing 2, which I've had for 24, 25 years, which is...
you don't change the putter very often.
Would it upset you if I said that's the same age as me?
No way.
I actually had my club stolen 2 years ago, and the putter went, but I had a backup in already just in case. So I brought the backup in, but it's exactly the same. So it's not exactly 25 years, but it's the same. It's exactly the same putter.
It's funny how like all the top players always never really change their putter, do they? Whereas you go from just talking about golf club members, loads of other kind of high single figures, mid-teens. Those boys seem to change quite a lot.
Yeah, they're searching to find the one, aren't they? I mean, I've not found a putter that I like more, or when I look down on the ball that I like the way it sits more. So why would I change? I've been a decent putter for that length of time. I'm confident with it. So I don't envisage me changing for a long time unless I get my club stolen again.
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
No.
Well, boys, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I appreciate your time.
No worries.
Cheers, Alex.
Cheers, guys. And thank you guys for joining me on tonight's Golf Chat Show Live. We all hope we're back playing golf soon because it is driving us crazy. I know there's more important things, but as golf fans, we just want to be back out there, especially when the weather's like this. If you are brand new to the channel, guys, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow night where we've got Carl Morris and Simon Dyson on the show.